that quickly. Thank you. But yeah, they're moving to more betting content. So I'm going to be telling people to make sure to subscribe to the other one so they can keep watching us.
Sure.
So just warning you for that. But I'm going to post this article quickly because I forgot it got moved. So I need to post it now. And we're testing out new things at Heavy. So I can't schedule them. So just need to post
We have
it.
Randy in the chat ready to go today.
Hello.
Let's go Celtics. It's 10 p.m. here. It's far later than I would like it to be. I'm telling you, man, I got to start taking work off when they have these trips. This is too much of an effort for me.
I'm not even going to I'm not going to lie because I have to stay up late through the entirety of it. And by the time postgame wraps up, because postgame starts up so late, it's usually I'm getting to bed at 2. Or actually, no, that's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. Postgame will usually go about minimum 50 minutes. So usually it wraps up. I can start editing stuff around 2. So I've got it down to a science though now. I try and prep stuff ahead of time. So I can literally just plug and play and just.
I hate these trips, man. It's even
a back-to-back 10 o'clock start.
Brutal.
Oh, God. It is the worst. Oh, Sam froze.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm
funny
here.
face.
I just posted.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
God damn it. I mean, come on.
You're back.
I know I'm back, but I'm letting it have it today.
All right, let me say hello to the chat while you get angry. Hello, Randy.
I am
hello,
so sick and tired. Oh, now it's red. Now it's red. I mean, God forbid that this internet has to do any work. This is on every time.
Oh man. Are the Clippers missing anybody?
Hello, Clippers. Zubac.
Questionable.
Oh,
Zubac, which would be big for the Celtics.
That helps.
Because considering
don't have either of their starting centers. I don't know what your guys' takeaway from the Warriors game was, other than the fact of they just didn't play up to what they used to do. Some people, it's you have a mix of both. You've got people freaking out way too much, and then people trying to pass it off like it's nothing. And it's it was a letdown game, sure, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they just didn't play up to par. They're not going to win every game in the season.
They're 21-6.
Exactly.
21-6. What are we doing? Having full diaper meltdown over losing to the reigning champions. I don't care if they're one game over 500 now. They're still the freaking Warriors, man.
Uh-oh. Sam is away for a moment. Nikki saying Zubac is playing tonight, so that must have been a game time decision. So he was questionable. So some inside intel from Nikki. Thank you for letting us know. So it looks like Zubac will be playing. I'll double check that. But Keith just tweeted out the starters, so I can tell you right now. Zubac is starting, as are Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Reggie Jackson, and Marcus Morris for the Clippers. So they're rolling out everything in full there. Celtics rolling out the starting lineup. I just put on the screen. Smart, White, Brown, Tatum, Griffin, Grant Williams pulled Derek White in. Saying hello to everybody in the chat. Need MVP Tatum tonight. Landon getting hyped. Zubac is out. Just saw him listed as playing. Yes, Dennis, he was questionable. And don't worry, Nikki had us with the scoop. And then they play the Warriors how you're not supposed to play the Warriors. Hopefully Joe's figures it out. I agree.
They were in a tough spot though, but the big thing was that they were playing drop and then they were going underneath the screens. And it's a tough one because it's still Steph Curry. Even if you go over the screen, there's still a really good chance he's going to hit it. And there was a handful of times they went over and then he draws the foul and then hits it anyway. He did that to Brogdon. That infuriated me. But it's really, really hard, but you can't play drop against the Warriors and expect it to work out well. But they also didn't have either of their starting caliber big men. You don't have a lot of options there.
I agree. And for Lupe in the chat asking, Horford is out. He's going to miss the last 2 games of the road trip, not playing in either LA game for personal reasons, I think now is what he's listed as. So it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, I guess, just missing more time than a lot of people expected.
I hope everything's all right.
Exactly. I agree. I guess that's all you can worry. Griffin going off 8.6 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, predicting the stat line, I got to respect it.
It's pretty close to what he's been getting though.
About his average in the starts.
That's not bad.
About his average.
I'll
say this. Sam, are we back? Are you?
Yeah, I'll say some words while my internet allows for it.
Yes.
I mean, I plug it in. It's still freezing. I don't know how this continues to get worse because it
sure
never
it's not your
used to be
computer?
this bad.
Is it your internet, not your computer?
It shouldn't be the computer. Like I turned the computer off. It's like getting its breathers. I don't know why.
Have you tried like updating any drivers or anything?
No. Maybe I should. I don't know.
Well, like do it after. Like see if there's an update or something. Sometimes it could be like a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi driver that could be acting up. But yeah, how old's your computer anyway?
Not that old. I've had it for. That's a good question. 4 years, maybe. It's not that old.
That's not that old, no.
No, you should be fine.
Could be a router thing. Anywho, I'm not going to diagnose your problems. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, sad about Cade. Cade
very sad
out for the season.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Unfortunately,
they'll be fine. Time to tank.
They're hoping for some Wembanyama. While I have you guys here, I see 13 of you watching on God Boston Sports. If you enjoy the pregame shows, I'm going to say it throughout the show because we're moving. We're no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports. Starting in 2023, we're moving exclusively to the How About Them Celtics podcast page. So make sure to subscribe to the How About Them Celtics podcast page. We put out a new podcast today. If you want to check it out with guests, we had Cam Tabatabai of the Celtics Lab podcast. So check that out today if you enjoy us, and make sure to subscribe to the How About Them Celtics podcast page if you don't want to miss these pregame shows moving forward, because we're no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports. So make sure to check it out over there. John saying Cornette and Hauser didn't look too good in the Warriors game.
No one did.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
Well,
there's like
Brown.
two or three players on the Celtics looked decent or good.
Yeah, Jaylen and Brogdon looked all right. Outside of that, it was just pretty much a mess. It was just a mess out of that. Jimmy J's in our podcast comments pushing this too. Missoula has to bench Smart when he is bad. Why not give Brogdon heavy fourth quarter minutes? I agree that Brogdon didn't get a ton of love in the second half. I saw a stat on Twitter that he played less than Derek White, and one was having a better game, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part this year, Smart's just, I think, been better. And that's why he's getting the more minutes. Smart definitely did not play well in the Warriors game. He struggled. Tatum struggled. White couldn't shoot the ball. It was kind of a mess all around. And in that situation, maybe Smart does need to hit the bench. But I've seen you pushing this narrative more than just this game, Jimmy. And I'm a bit confused as to why you don't like Marcus Smart as much. So, I mean, let us know in the chat. And I agree that Brogdon should have had more minutes in that Dubs game because he was so important in the first quarter. So maybe you should have got a little more run. But I don't know. It was just a tough situation all around, I think, for the Celtics that game.
I think Smart, for the most part this season, is fine. He's really having his best season of his career. So this is not the time to be saying don't play this guy. He didn't play great against the Warriors on Saturday, but literally everyone not named Jaylen Brown did. I mean, Brogdon was pretty good too, but I believe you said it yesterday, Jack, that he might not have been creating as much offense, making things as easy as he usually did. Or maybe it was Cam. I don't remember which one of you said it.
Yeah.
But it's very possible that that's a reason why.
Jimmy J giving his explanation. Brogdon leads the league in 3-point percentage. The other is Smart. 3-point shooting isn't everything.
The other is the defensive player. The other one is averaging like 7.5 assists a game and not turning the ball over. The other one is shooting a career high from the field. Not everything is 3-point percent.
That's not bad either way. Like you can say that a guy deserves some minutes in the fourth quarter or deserves more playing time without like going ahead and crapping on another guy. Like you can have Brogdon and Smart on the floor at the same time, and I think that's good because it helps your ball movement. Brogdon hit a couple big shots specifically from deep, so I get that you like want to give him more time, but I don't think this is like a chance to just knock Smart. Like I don't think if you swap out some of those minutes in the fourth quarter between Smart and Brogdon, that's going to make or break this game. They didn't lose it on like a rotational battle there. That's just a matter of getting out coached and like just not playing the way that you're supposed to or the way that you've been playing for most of the season.
They've got me in the right mood tonight. Do these idiots like can you go like any time without like trying to pit players on the Celtics against each other? It was Jaylen Brown and
not
Jayson
you,
Tatum
Jimmy.
For years.
Not you, Jimmy. Just clarifying.
Jimmy could be one of the morons.
No,
he's trying real hard.
We're not antagonizing people.
Let's leave Jimmy alone. No, Jimmy's
no. Listen, you want to say dumb things. I'm gonna call you out for it. I'm sick and tired of you can and it's not just
Jonathan's
him. There are plenty of people that cannot just be happy with what they have. People have been trying to put guys against each other for years. Brown and Tatum. People trying to throw Smart under the bus all the time. Can you just be happy that these guys are on your team and they're playing well?
So White's been shooting poorly. He shot bad the last couple games, but he's doing other stuff. Like he had a couple big defensive plays, had a couple blocks, couple steals. Like he's doing a couple other things, but
he understands.
I love it. Respect. Look, I think it doesn't just water down to 3-point percenters. There's other things that these guys are doing. And I think Joe hasn't hesitated to swap guys out when he's needed to. Again, I think fixating on the Smart minutes and saying that like you need more Brogdon to change something, I don't think that's the issue here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't
Tim,
think
you said it perfectly. Like people are losing their minds after one loss. I forgot about it. Like I forgot how like crazy it was. All I really saw on Twitter was people making fun of people that were getting pissed about it. But there's a lot of controversy.
There are certain people that I saw saying some outlandish things and worrying about knee health, and it's just kind of like whatever. All right,
well, knee health could be valid. That could be valid. Not exactly what was said. It doesn't necessarily mean you jump to that level of conclusion, but it could be possible.
Yeah, like Rob having like Kemba's knee problems, and it's like we're gonna really like microanalyze a guy going up for a dunk and coming down like he has every other time that he's dunked the basketball.
Like, there's not a lot to complain about. You got to pick your spots.
Yeah, pick your poison, man. You can't complain about everything. Then you're just absolutely miserable the entire time. It's awful.
I agree. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Landon. Hello, Dad. Jimmy J. I love Marcus, but Brogdon is an elite point guard in the NBA.
They both are.
I'm gonna say this
point.
again. First of all, Jimmy, if you love Brogdon so much, Brogdon first. Just I'm sorry. It's the writer. Second of all, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think Brogdon should get more minutes. Right now, if you look at the season stats, Brogdon's averaging around 23, White's at around 26, Smart's at around 33. I don't think the answer is, take Smart's minutes away because he's bad. I will say there's a good chance that the Celtics are not playing Brogdon a ton of minutes because of his injury history. He has not been able to stay on the court for 5 seasons now. Since his second year in the league, he hasn't been able to stay on the court. So if you're the Celtics, playing him around 23, 25 minutes a night right now is, giving you the chance to play him 30 minutes later in the season and in the playoffs, which, exactly. Exactly, Jimmy. But if I had to choose between Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon right now, I'm taking Marcus Smart. And he's not as good of a 3-point shooter, but he does just about everything else just kind of better than Malcolm Brogdon does, right? Maybe he's not as good of a shot creator and a 3-point shooter, but he's a better defender. He's the defensive player of the year last year. He's proven that he's a better passer. He's a better, rebounder, hustle guy, all that stuff. And most importantly, he has better chemistry with this Celtics team than anybody else on the roster, right? And you can't really teach that. And so as much as you love Brogdon, and I love Brogdon too, he's been invaluable to this team. And I said it, I think I tweeted it. He's the addition of the offseason. I think Brad could win Executive of the Year because of that trade. But not only is Smart more durable, but he has better chemistry. And I think that's a big, important thing. Also saying, the last question, we lost the Warriors because lack of playmaking and then got Brogdon. So use him more, but I do see redundancy in our 3 guards. Malcolm shoots the best. I understand. I don't necessarily know if there's redundancy because it's kind of just a surplus of wealth. And it's not like it's not like any of them are Peyton Pritchard, right? They're all getting over 20 minutes a night. They're all playing a ton. And as we've seen, Brogdon and Smart have both already missed time. And they can all play up. So I don't necessarily know redundancy, but I don't know.
I don't think redundancy for those 3 guards is a problem. You've got 3 guards who are capable of being starters on any team, who are all defensively capable, who can play make, who can shoot the 3. That's not redundant. That's just good team building. That means that you can cycle any of those guys in and out of the lineup without skipping a beat. Like that's a good problem to have.
Pritchard would be a great third. He's a great 3rd point guard, but he's a 4th point guard. So isn't that even better?
Yeah, that's literally any other team. He could be a 2nd point guard.
Yeah,
that has been the talk of the season. All the potential trades for Pritchard to get him some more leeway in his career. Going back to the redundancy thing, I don't disagree. I just think it might not be the right word. they're all very similar in the way they play, which makes them valuable. It's a positive, not a negative, right? And Brogdon definitely is the best scorer of the three, and that's been his role. He comes off the bench and gives them a scoring punch, meaning creation and drives and getting to the rim. White gets his scoring from catch and shoot, which unfortunately on Saturday and over the last however many games, he's been cooled off a bit, so he hasn't been as effective. Marcus Smart was off on Saturday, was a bit careless and had some bad stretches. But throughout the season, he's by far playing the best basketball of his career. In the pick and roll game, he is the fourth best player in the league in terms of points per possession when he's handling the ball. When Rob Williams comes back, that's going to get even better. It's just another weapon for him to use in the pick and roll. He's just been so good. Like there's no need to complain about any of those guys. That's really the point I think all three of us are getting at.
I was furrowing my brow at this one.
I agree. I don't think useless is fair. I think there's more to life than 3-point percentage.
What do you mean useless? How can he be useless? Up
you.
Until like 5 days ago, he was shooting the lights out. He's still in the top, however many in 3-point percentage in the league.
The way I see it is Derek White was never going to shoot, like the stretch you're talking about when Smart and Brogdon were out, I believe was around the middle of November. Derek White was shooting 2 for 4 from 3, 2 for 4 from 3, 6 for 8 from 3, dropping 16, 16, 26. Since then, he shot he had an 0 for 3 game, not great, but then 3 for 6, 3 for 7, 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 3 for 7, 2 for 5. And then over the last 4 games, he's struggled. He's, I think, 3 for, 3 for, sorry, I'm doing math on the fly. It's not my strong suit. 3 for 16 from 3, which is a shooting slump. 3 for 16 is not good over the course of 4 games.
I mean, dude, I've seen Tatum do that in a game.
He was in double figures for 6 straight. That's because he had more opportunities, because other guys were out and he had to take those shots. I don't think him taking less shots is a bad thing because you have other talented guys around him. He doesn't need to score that much for the Celtics to win every night. And expecting him to shoot 50% from 3 over the course of the season, I just think is unrealistic. Of course, there's going to be shooting slumps. I mean, you look at Jayson Tatum, if Jayson Tatum's out and Jaylen Brown scores 50, that's not a case of, there's too much, talent at the top. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's I understand what you're saying. And I agree that Malcolm Brogdon should get more minutes and that he could have played more in that Warriors game. But I don't think the issue is, cut one of them so the others can play more minutes, because then that's just less talent on the team in general. And that doesn't really make sense. Plus 3-point shooting isn't everything. And a shooting slump doesn't mean you should cut somebody out of the rotation. And Marcus Smart, by the way, shooting 35% from 3, I think close to a career high. He's shooting really well from 3 compared, especially with everything else you get from him. But
he had the highest shot in
my
3
dad
seasons.
my dad likes to think of Robert Williams as the Celtics Chris Sale. So that is what he is referencing.
It's fair.
In the comments. It
Somewhat
is fair. I understand. Maybe not the attitude, at least from the injury perspective. He was recently reportedly cleared to play. Jimmy J says trade one for another player.
The only player you should be talking about trading is Pritchard. That's it.
We can agree.
All of these other guys have defined roles in the rotation.
They're all under contract for another multiple years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can just agree to disagree on this one. Jimmy.
Yeah,
but we appreciate you.
Out of all the things to be upset about, this is just not it.
It's a strange
agree
one.
to disagree.
If he was in here complaining about Tatum, at least he'd have something really
I wouldn't.
Good
I
from
wouldn't
Saturday's
for
game
Pirtle.
for the one game, because that was the main complaint. He's still having an MVP year. That's not what I'm saying. Relax.
Pirtle is you're getting Rob Williams back soon anyways, so you're getting a center back effectively for free. Al Horford's a great starting center. Cornette's been playing well. Griffin's been playing well, and Grant can play up. Plus, Pirtle has 1 year left on his deal, and then you have to pay him. And if you trade one of these guys, you can't just spend that money elsewhere, right? Because the Celtics don't have money to spend because they're deep into the luxury tax. So.
Yeah, and they had a chance to trade for Pirtle if they really wanted to in the offseason. And granted, things change over time. You don't know how long Rob was going to be out. I'm sure that they were probably trying to avoid any kind of operation. And then, we hit the late summer and then that kind of happened. But in terms of having Brogdon and White and Smart, they went out and chose to do that. They traded for Derek White right at the deadline. And then in the offseason, they had a chance to go and improve the roster. You added Malcolm Brogdon. So, they had a chance to go out and get a different player at a different position. So,
I agree with
they
that.
chose to do that. And they're not going to go ahead and just trade one of them out for a
Landon,
guy who's
that's rude.
expiring.
Leave him alone.
Look, I like Pirtle. I'm not going to trade one of these guards for him. It's just not going to happen.
Agree.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson hurt. Yes, he
Don't
is hurt
care.
today.
Patriots are bad anyway.
Patriots have
Jackin.
been bad right now. Hate Matt
Jack,
Patricia.
talking about your article today, Sam.
Oh, it's very nice of him. PJ or bust. That was you have to thank Jack for that. That was something we talked about in the pod yesterday, and I just wrote it in words.
PJ Washington.
PJ Washington
yeah.
was somebody we discussed.
We
Tybalt
brought up
was also in there too. That one's my favorite of the
TPE
three.
targets. Tybalt,
Did you bring up Reddish?
PJ Washington, Reddish.
I left Reddish out just because I didn't want to.
We talked about Reddish on Vitamin C's the other day.
Phil.
Phil likes to bring the fist bumps into the chat, Tim, if you want to join in.
Boop, boop.
Let's see what else we got. Yes, Dennis, we had, I think it's 13 now, but we have 14, now 13 on How About Them Celtics alone. So shout out you guys. And if you're watching on Guy Boston Sports, halfway through the show or 3/4 even, I'll say it again now. If you're watching on Guy Boston Sports, which I see 9 of you are, make sure to jump on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube page, because we are no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports starting in January.
And
so if you like the pregame shows,
don't just go for now.
If you'd like to subscribe, we'd appreciate it. But if you're watching on Guy Boston Sports YouTube, scroll down a little bit, check what channel you're on. Make sure you jump on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast channel. We're at 173 subscribers right now. If you want to get us to 175, we'd appreciate it. But if you like the pregame shows, you like podcasts, you like the Celtics, jump on over there, because we are no longer going to be on Guy Boston Sports starting in January. So say it again there. But yeah, so Celtics, I guess we haven't really talked about the Clippers tonight. Shane is back in the chat. Hello,
it's like
everybody.
That infamous Lakers game last year where we talked about Sabonis the whole time, and I wanted to murder
you were
somebody.
Seething.
Oh man, yeah, but that was, at least it was like understandable in the moment, right? Like now we're just going off the rails here. Oh man, it's a West Coast thing, man. It's a West Coast thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, Jack. And though, like they're definitely gonna be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Celtics. They better get it right.
They should have been angry on Saturday too. So you get now. I was the king of that going into Saturday. Oh, they're gonna have such a big chip on their shoulder, rah rah rah. And now I'm like, let's keep the emotions in check, there, fellas. Just go out there and play your game.
Clippers have lost.
Fun.
Clippers have lost 4 out of their last 6 games, and they haven't really had a tough schedule either. They've played, and granted, I don't know how many of these games Paul George and or Kawhi played in, but they lost to Utah, lost to Sacramento, beat Charlotte, lost to Orlando, lost to Miami, beat Washington. So bye, Dennis. Thank you for stopping by. Now they have the Celtics, who are probably pretty angry after losing. Peace out to the Warriors. First loss since the Miami game, and they've only lost 2 games in a row once this year. So Celtics probably hoping not to make that a second time. That once was Bulls, then Cavs in overtime very early in the season. But now the Celtics are ready. What are you guys looking for tonight? Whatever the Celtics and Clippers play, it's usually a pretty entertaining game, regardless of who's on the court. Obviously, a few years ago, you had Tatum crossing up Paul George. I think the Celtics ended up losing that game, but it's usually pretty exciting. Obviously, some injuries on both sides. Norm Powell for the Clippers, Al Horford, Robert Williams, notable for the Celtics that are out. What are you guys looking for?
Good, Tim.
Obviously, like the big thing is the Celtics getting on the right track. I do want to see another solid game out of Tatum. You need him to get back on track. Obviously, just kind of like a confidence thing and just a get right game. And the Clippers are obviously the last 4 out of the 6 games, they haven't been a good team, but health has always been a major problem for them. So the fact is like having most of their main guys back is good for them. And it's not like a measuring stick, but like it's not like the Clippers are pushovers or something. So, you still need to come out there. You still need to respect them. They're still a well-coached team, and they've got some really good depth pieces there too. So just go out there, play your best brand of basketball, and get back to what you were doing before. The one thing I probably would look for is just keep the ball moving and take care of possession. I think their big thing is just not letting the defense kind of dictate how they're going to play. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Said.
I would really like to see a lot of bounce back games from guys. I'd like to see Marcus Smart come out and play well, just because I want to see him under control, want to see him back to moving the ball. It's just, again, like Jackin said, like you said, Tim, that's always a big thing for this team. And of course, you got to make your threes, right? That's your whole thing this year. All you want to do is shoot those threes. So when they don't drop like Saturday, it's tough to win. But luckily for them, it's been an outlier. That's not really something that happens that often. They usually drill all of them. So I'm looking forward to that. And, you should see a good duel between our guys against their guys, meaning the stars. You had some star power in this game. The guys that are supposed to replace George and Kawhi as the best wing duo or already have, depending on how you see it.
Exactly. John looking for Tatum to score 30. I think Tatum's going to be upset with himself after what he did against the Warriors. I think he'll be aggressive. I think he'll look pretty good. Lupe agreeing with Tim here, and Landon saying, looking for Smart to get hot from 3 in the fourth. So they bench Brogdon. Landon versus Jimmy in the chat. We've got a rivalry brewing, I guess. We shall see what happens.
It is that time.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say, go ahead.
I'm angry.
We've got our pick of the night presented by Smash the Odds at Smash Odds on Twitter. Daily free picks there, and you can pay for the premium service for the premium picks. Make yourself some money there. Devin's pick from Smash the Odds, Marcus Smart over 11.5 points at -113. My pick, Grant Williams over 1.5 threes at +135. Smash the Odds, 15-5 on our pregame show this year. So if you take those picks, good chance of making some money. Jack, Tim, any picks?
I'm looking at it. Derek White and Grant Williams over 1.5 threes is both plus money, +105 for Derek, +140 for Grant over 1.5 threes. So I'm happy with either of those. I'm looking for a bounce back game from Derek after a few struggles. And Grant Williams, I think off the bench in his natural role, should be able to nail a few from deep as well. So I'm happy with either of those picks. I think they could both be good. What about you, Tim? Anything? I know you probably don't have the odds.
I don't have them up, but I think those are both very good bets, especially just because I think, like you said, I think Derek has to kind of break this streak where he's been struggling a little bit. And this is a good get-right game. So, yeah.
I agree. Shane saying tighten up the rebounds, terrible last game, and make the shots. About to say it again. Celtics really struggled on the boards against the Warriors. I said it in the pregame show. Kevon Looney killed them in the finals, and he killed them again on Saturday night against Celtics. Lupe praising Tim for his radio voice.
Thanks.
Love the mic quality. Absolute legend.
Good to know.
Still going to check the Pats game. Pats are tied 13-13. Sam, I'm sorry. I know you don't care.
Don't care.
Good night for a solid Grant game.
They're not going to do anything. Don't worry.
Every night is a good night for a solid Grant guy. I mean, the other guy. Wow, Tim getting roasted. Maybe not Tim you're talking about.
Does he mean me or Jack? Me?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Lupe's talking about. We'll get an update in the chat shortly. I will say Lupe earlier.
Pats. Good job, Landon. It's a
Lupe
5
saying,
though.
I was going to say
like
I think
a 6
it's KG
from the angle, but it is 5.
It did. Is that KG, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were tired.
Yes, that number 5.
This side that says it.
Gotcha. Was that from his retirement game? I assume?
Yeah, really cool hat, man.
Oh, you were there, right?
Yeah, I went.
Okay. I see. All right. Well, we can start to wind down here. Sam with the radio voice, getting the names mixed up. We all got nice radio voices. We'll say.
I'm just wondering if it's the radio voice like that he's just talking with, or he's talking about like the guy who calls in on the radio. And
it could be that.
Yells.
That's
it
very
could be that.
You get my internet screwed up. I'll start yelling. I'll do it. I'll definitely start yelling. I'll tell you what. It snowed yesterday.
I love it.
Did you guys both get snow? I know you did, Jack.
Yeah,
when we were recording, you got
I did.
And Tim, you got snow.
I did.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, these people in New England, they forget that they're from New England when the snow hits the ground. I mean, I was out there driving yesterday.
Thanks, Lupe.
Not very fast. Very nice of Lupe to show us a love.
The way he reads the ads.
Yes. There is no read. It's all ad lib. Don't worry about it. Right off the dome.
Love it. What were you saying? You're driving slow, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I was driving a basketball, and this guy's driving like 20 and 35. It's like, all right, dude, like you live here. You live here. It's not Washington, D.C., where they get an inch of snow and they shut down the city. I mean, the roads were clear. It was just like it was raining out.
My buddy, he used to live here, obviously, but he lives in Texas now. I went to high school with him. They got like an inch of snow a couple years ago in Texas, and they shut everything down. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know what these idiots are doing. This is crazy." Well, it's just because they don't have the infrastructure to deal with it. They don't have snow plows. They don't have anything, so it was just snow, and it was just stuck there. Like they had no way to get rid of it. So they kind of had to shut everything out. Jack and saying it was chilly. Where are you from, Jack? And where it's a chilly 75. That's messed up.
Philippines?
Maybe. I don't remember, but chilly 75. That's crazy. But we can start to wrap up here as the Celtics get ready to get going. I'm going to say it one more time. If you're watching on Guy Boston Sports, the YouTube channel, make sure to jump on over to the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. How About Them Celtics on YouTube. We're at 174 subscribers now. So like I said, if you want to get us to 175, we'd appreciate it. So anything else you guys want to say before we get on out of here for the night? Jackson in Florida.
I sure hope my sacrifice sleep isn't for nothing. That's what I have to say.
I saw you tweeting about the Celtics making it interesting just to let you down the other night.
They did. Well, at least it was a weekend and it was an 8:30 tip. I mean, listen, I don't like having my emotions toyed with. Don't get me wrong, but my sleep, I like even less being messed with.
Brutal. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you want to see us on Twitter, you can check us out. Those ats are below our faces. Jack Simone NBA, Sam LaFrance NBA, Tim Shields NBA. You can see the spellings, like I said, on the tags on the screen. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at How About Them C's. And on Facebook, it's just How About Them Celtics podcast. And like I said, it's on YouTube at the How About Them Celtics podcast. We had a new podcast episode drop today. If you want more content from us, check that podcast episode out. With, again, Cam Tabatabai of the Celtics Lab podcast. So check that out. Check out all the content over on the How About Them Celtics podcast YouTube channel. This has been a Celtics pregame show. We are here 30 minutes before every Celtics game, and we'll see you guys for the next one. Peace out, chat.
Cheers. Tell you what, they'll